Welcome to ARCS, Behind the Driver Podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to episode number 25 of ARCS Behind the Driver. Had to take a week off last week. Kinsey was unfortunately in the hospital, so wasn't able to meet with David Houck. We're going to try and do that one next Friday. But tonight we have James Wright, someone who is fairly new to ARCS, but we're going to learn a little bit about him and talk with him tonight with ARCS Behind the Driver. Episode number 25. Stay tuned. We'll have him live here in the virtual studio here in just a moment. We're here live with Mr. James Wright. Welcome to the virtual studio. Good to have you.
Thanks for letting me join you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, I'll kind of give you the floor. Probably not a lot of people in ARCS know who you are, so tell them a little bit about who you are, where you live, all that good stuff. I'll let you take it.
Like Ryan said, my name's James Wright. From Mount Pleasant, Michigan. It's like basically the dead center of Michigan. Um, I've loved racing since I was a kid. I actually, funny fun fact of my team is I started the team before I started sim racing, or at least on iRacing, anyways. Um, yeah, I haven't been on the service very long. I think just about 2 years. I'm about close to my renewal, so um, yeah, not a lot to know about me. I've been racing four cylinders in real life for about 12 years now. Um, my sim journey kind of started on back on Gran Turismo 5, and that's kind of how things have gone. Just kind of evolved and gone with it as it comes around.
Awesome. You said you're from Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay, so fun story about me. I'm from Georgia. I grew up in
Okay.
Georgia. My girlfriend, you probably never raced with her. She ran with us when we ran back on Xbox in Heat 4, Heat 5 days. You've probably seen her in the server. Kinsey is her name. I actually moved here in September to Detroit, Michigan. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I'm not too far from you. We're not in Detroit. We're actually in Macomb County. It's about 20-30 minutes from
Yeah.
Detroit. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm a part-time Michigander up here. So trying to learn the
Well, I
ways.
mean, I hope the winters haven't been too harsh on you since you got up here.
They weren't too bad. This winter, I think it only snowed like 3 or 4 times, which honestly, I'm a Georgia boy. I kind of liked it. I'm not gonna lie. We don't see snow.
Hey,
It was exciting for me, but yeah, those negative
I
two
mean, I've heard
days.
of. Oh yeah, oh yeah, they'll
Oh,
get you.
yeah.
I've heard of people moving here and then get into the winter, and then by the time the snow's gone, they are out of here because
Yeah.
forget this.
Yeah, it's luckily this year they said it was a mild winter. It wasn't too bad. There was some cold days, but really not a whole lot of snow this winter, so I'll take it. I enjoy seeing snow, especially being a Georgia boy, but it was not too bad. Hopefully this winter coming up, maybe it won't be too
Yeah,
bad.
it was the yeah. It wasn't a terrible winter. It was definitely a little bit rough in the middle, but overall, pretty standard winter for Michigan.
Yeah, and these summers, I'm just loving these summers. I mean, like for it to be July 12th and it was like 82 degrees today. I'm like, "Oh, this is great." Like but back home it's like 105. Like this is I could get used to the Michigan summers for sure. But anyway, so obviously I like to kind of ask everyone, you are in ARCS. You haven't done a whole lot of racing. You raced with us tonight, which the race tonight was actually pretty fun, I thought.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun tonight. Most of my wrecking came from just little like taps
Yeah.
of people turning me while I was trying to avoid something else.
I had two people make some very bad blocks on me, and I wasn't gonna lift, and I just moved low, and I think I got Patrick Oberstat once, and I think I may have got somebody else, but when you have a run and somebody blocks you, if you lift, you're gonna get wrecked, so you have to just
Oh, absolutely. Like
you have to make a
that's
move.
what that's what makes super speedway racing so much fun. You have to actually like it's completely flat out and you have to think about what you're doing at the same exact time.
Yep. It is. It's crazy because if you and in the back of your mind you're thinking, okay, if I do this, the person behind me is either going to run me over, or pass me, or wreck me. So you constantly have to be thinking in the back of your mind, like,
Well, right. And
you
then
know,
like you also have to kind of like think in the minor part of your brain like how many laps are left? Like
mm-hmm,
I feel like I have a really good car to get to the front, but how many laps do we have left here?
exactly. So we'll talk a little bit about ask everybody kind of how they found ARCS, because me being the owner and president, I'm always curious, especially with people that I've never really talked to, because I haven't really talked to you much. How did you find ARCS? How did you get into ARCS? Who, kind of was like, hey, come over here and maybe race with ARCS. They have some stuff going on. What's that story look like?
So it kind of ties into somebody you've talked to already. Carmen, she and I go back about 10 years, back to Gran Turismo days. When I was coming over here to the sim world, getting into things over here on her ABN Champ Car stuff, and I was starting to expand and grow a little bit. Some of the people around her server and herself was broadcasting for you guys at that moment for, I think, the truck series, the Saturday Night Truck Series.
Yep.
So we just brought some drivers over, and I came and dabbled a few races here and there over there. And yeah, that's kind of what brought me over here to ARCS. Is I was kind of looking to expand, and people were saying that ARCS was a good place to be, so I came over here, and I've been enjoying it ever since. I've been having a great time.
Yeah, it's a good place. I mean, I mean, just like every league, we have some nights where
you're gonna have your spats.
Yeah, we have our nights where it's like, okay, that wasn't our best showing, but we try and improve on it. With the Xfinity Series starting tonight, that was probably the best field we've had as far as numbers in a long time on a Friday night. So that was cool to see. I mean, to have 21 people at Daytona, that's not a bad field.
Yeah, it's not a bad field for a Friday night during summer. It's one thing I've noticed during like a lot of my like sim time since I was a teenager is that like how much it really does fluctuate between the winters and the summers in car count.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, any day of the week, but especially Friday, it's hard to get people to show up, especially week after week. I mean, obviously everyone knows any super speedway race, everyone and their mom is going to show up. It's that one race where everybody has a chance. It's just,
yeah, everybody has a chance. Why not do it?
Yeah, show up.
It's kind of like running a free track and a free car in a league race. You're going to get people to show up.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is what it is. But hopefully next week we'll still have some good numbers. If not, hey, it'll help me try and win another championship in ARCS. So I ain't complaining. So Rick James in the chat says he wants me to ask you who you like in F1.
In I'm gonna guess the Rebel Racing flag.
That might have tipped him off a little bit.
Okay. Currently, my favorite right now has to be Alonso, just because I'm a big fan of like vets that stay around just to fight because they can.
Yeah, just to be.
They're definitely like past their prime a little bit.
Yeah, but they're still there.
They're still there fighting.
They're still there.
Why not?
Yeah, you got to show.
And occasionally they eke out the young guys. Just
yeah.
I feel like the older generation that stick around in like Formula One, IndyCar, and NASCAR are there to kind of like buffer out the young ones that don't really like belong, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, Rick James said that was the right answer. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody agrees with me. I was worried.
Yeah.
I know. I do like Red Bull. I will say I like Red Bull just because, like I said, I came from Gran Turismo, and when Sebastian ran off when I was like a teenager and won his multiple in a row, Gran Turismo gifted everybody a free car, and I was like, because he won it, and that got me to stay awake till 3 a.m. and watch Sebastian win the championship, just so I knew I got the car.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I struggle to watch F1, because it's like, oh, the race starts at 8:30 a.m. I'm like, fuck that. I ain't waking up. Or it'll be like practice. It'll be like practice is at like 3 a.m. I'm like, I'm not.
Well, or it'll be like, oh, practice is at like a normal time, like 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
But then the race is at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, it's like
What?
I'm not.
Can't we start the race at
Yeah.
the same time we were running practice?
Yeah, like I'm not watching that. But I mean,
If we run an F1 race into 1 a.m., that's fine. But if I have to get up at 1 a.m. to watch the F1 race,
yeah,
that's a bit of a.
that's a little too much. Yeah. Which I mean, I know they're racing, all over the world, so it's
Yeah, you got to work with time zones. I get it.
different time zones, but still, this is America. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
you've got three races over here. Can't you
Yeah.
tether to our time zones just a
Yeah.
little more?
Run it at 8 a.m. in Saudi Arabia time, so we can watch it at noon. I mean, come on. Let's get this shit straightened out.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about your, because like me personally, my first NASCAR game that I ever played was with my dad, NASCAR '98, where you had for those that played that game, you had a cheat code where you could actually shoot paintballs to wreck the cars in front of you. But that was my first game. First game I really got into was NASCAR Thunder 2003. And then really online was probably NASCAR Heat 4 was when I really got going. What's your story? What's your first NASCAR game that you played? What's the first one that really got you kind of intrigued or you started doing some online stuff? What's your story on that end of things?
So my NASCAR game story, funny enough, does not coincide with my sim racing story. My NASCAR game story is, I believe it was like NASCAR '06. And
was that Total Team Control? Yep.
Yeah, Total Team Control.
Solid game.
Absolutely. I loved the mechanics of the game. I loved the swap mechanic of it. As I got better, I don't know if anybody else did this in that game, but I just got rid of the swap option in general. Yeah. Like, no, I don't want to swap to my teammate and help them win this race. Yeah. No.
Fuck my teammate.
I know I'm running fuck my teammate. I know I'm running 22nd, but I don't care.
Yeah.
He needs to slow down the rest of the field so I can get by everybody. That's what needs to be happening right now. Yeah. But that was my first game. And actually, it's kind of a mix of like 06 and 04. Yeah. So I had a bit of a kind of a weird career mode experience. So there was that weird gap of kind of like, I kind of wish they would have kept the buying a team mechanic from 4 and just get it rolling here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my sim racing story is slightly different. That started on the PlayStation 3 with Gran Turismo 5. I fumbled around a little bit, just kind of like running through public lobbies until I came across GT Planet. And that's kind of where I came along. I ran a bunch of races with some people, became good friends with people that went on to later do some cool stuff. And that's kind of how I got involved with like Carmen's circle of people and brought into their world of sim racing. And I've loved it with that crew ever since. I kind of walk out every couple of years. I kind of get burned out fast. But I kind of just float.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I've been doing this since 2020. Started. I didn't actually start ARCS. I started A Squared, which runs on Sunday nights. That is what I started in 2020, and it's been around ever since. And then TNT, which is Rick James, who's in the chat, him and Thomas Andrews, Tom Sears, a guy named Terry Gabbard, who doesn't even talk in our Discord anymore, but he's still there. They started TNT, and we were kind of two separate leagues. And then my Sunday series for A Squared on Heat 4 and eventually went to Heat 5, it was getting it was getting a lot of interest. So we actually ended up starting a truck series. We started an Xfinity series, and I was like, I talked to Rick and Thomas Andrews and Tom Sears, and I was like, hey, y'all are pulling a lot of our drivers to run on Thursdays. We're pulling a lot of y'all's drivers to run on Sundays. Why don't we just mesh this thing together and make it one, uniform league? And everybody was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So,
well, yeah, because then it organizes things a little bit more too.
exactly.
Under one flag.
Yeah, and then everybody can run, okay, Thursdays is TNT. Everybody can run that. And Sundays is A squared. Everybody can run that. And we started ARCS, and the rest is history. I mean, we're at over 300 members in our Discord now. I mean, that's crazy to think that. I mean, but it was cool just to, be doing something during the pandemic just because, hell, nobody had anything else to do.
Yeah, nobody had anything else to do going on.
You couldn't work. If you did work, you were working from home. You couldn't go to the grocery store. You couldn't go to eat anywhere because they were all closed down. I mean, literally, I was working from home at the time. I was lucky to be able to still work from home. But at 5 p.m., I logged out of my computer. I walked into my living room, and at 5:01, I was, could do whatever I wanted to do. And everybody
5:01, you're standing there going, "What
do I do
now?
Yeah, what do I do?" Like
normally I have like another half an hour drive home from here, but like, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah, like I'm in my living room at 5:01, so I mean, what do I do? But I mean,
well, shit. For some people sitting in their living room doing it, they just close the laptop and they're right there, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that wasn't even a minute difference. It was, 10 seconds of, okay, let me log out of Zoom here and log into the.
That was a great day of work. Crap. Now what do I do?
Yeah, now what do I do? So I mean, we all went through that. It was a tough time for everyone, honestly, but
oh yeah,
it built a lot of. I mean, it built ARCS. It
built a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, it really did. So
it was fun watching iRacing go mainstream.
Yeah, for sure.
For a minute. It was fun kind of like watching how things played out and how like sponsors reacted to certain situations.
Yeah, because you had, I mean, there during the pandemic, even NASCAR was pretty much sidelined. So they were even using iRacing where they were putting on races where actual Cup drivers were
running still.
Yeah, we're racing iRacing, and it was like, okay, we still get to watch a race. Yes, it's not real, but this is all we can really do at this point, so why not enjoy it? And it was a blast because you got to see like Clint Boyer was over there racing, right beside Kevin Harvick, and
and it was kind of funny to see like the mix of like old and new that were like, yeah, iRacing is a cool sim tool, but this is really stupid that we're doing this right now.
Yeah. Then you have
then you had the like. Yeah, then you have Timmy Hill who's like, let's go sim racing 24/7. Let's do this.
Yeah,
I'll show you what I got.
I got my Logitech G923, and I'm gonna whoop y'all's ass. Like, that dude was just so
under
good.
Budget my ass. Come get some.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then you had the fun of like random Xfinity drivers or like Keelan showing up.
Yeah.
At the later point of it, and it was just like, what is this now?
You got like
I thought this was an Well, I thought this was an invitational for Cup guys. Why's Kevin's kid here?
Yeah, he's like 7 years old. He's like, I got this, Dad. Don't worry. I love video games. Like, he's just
don't worry, Dad. I know what I'm doing on this sim better than you do. Get out of my way.
Get out of my seat.
I think it would have been. I think it'd be funny to watch now with like Braxton. Throw Braxton in there with Keelan. Just watch him take over the whole field.
Yeah. That would be awesome. I mean, luckily it's motorsports has kind of opened back up now. Obviously, as
thankfully.
Yeah, everything's kind of went back to normal. So they're all kind of, Keelan and Braxton and what's Clint's Cash Boyer.
Yeah, Cash.
All of them are out there, running races, and I love watching that because that's the future of NASCAR.
Oh, absolutely! Like a couple, I think I would say a couple weeks ago. It was probably a couple months ago now. I was jumping between like races through officials, and I kept jumping into like late model stock practice sessions, and I ran into Keelan like twice, and he's just sitting there,
Doing
just
laps.
going,
Yeah.
just doing lap. And then when the race goes official, he leaves.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, they use this as a training tool.
As a genuine training tool, like
because they have, obviously they have a whole lot more money than me or you have, but
yeah,
they have these.
We've been having a lot different podcast session right now.
Oh yeah, it would be. Yeah, I would have flown you down or driven you down here to Detroit.
Sent me a private car.
Yeah, I would have sent you an Uber. We would have had it face to face, but yeah, I mean they have nice rigs, obviously, that are set up. They probably have triple monitors. They probably have a motion seat. I mean Denny Hamlin's rig when he did it. I mean,
oh yeah,
he had like a $10,000 rig, and it was like,
yeah.
And that's nothing to him, I mean,
$10,000 for a rig.
Yeah, whatever.
For a rig, because then it acts as a simulator in my house.
Yeah.
Great. Cool.
Yeah.
Drop in the bucket.
Yep. Write it off on the taxes.
Like I'm currently looking to try to get upgraded from the G923, trying to go to the direct drive, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I have the Fanatec DD2 with the NASCAR wheel, so it's proof that if you upgrade your shit, you can still run mid-pack. Because that's what I do. I run mid-pack. I'm pretty good at super speedways. I'll be there, but every other race, I'm gonna be mid-pack at best.
That's how I that's how I am on my wheel though.
Yeah.
Super speedways, let's go have some fun. I'll try to run up front, maybe.
I actually looked at getting the Fanatec IndyCar wheel, and it's like $150, and I'm like, am I really gonna use it that much though? Like,
are you really, or are you just gonna put it on the wall mounts just to add it to the collection?
Exactly. Like it's just gonna sit on the wall, collect dust, and I don't know. I don't know if I could spend that much. Like, I just recently, literally 2 days ago, and I don't know how you feel about college football, but
okay,
I just bought a brand new Xbox Series S because the new college football game comes out next week, and we actually have a Discord set up already ready. So for anybody that's listening, if you want,
we got the league ready to go.
Oh yeah, the league is ready. We actually have 2 different leagues in the Discord because it is not, unfortunately, Dynasty is not cross-platform. So we have some PlayStation people, we have some Xbox people. So if you're listening and you want to join our Discord, shoot me a message. I'll get you in there. But I literally feel like I'm 12 years old again. Like, I am so excited. I'm like pulled back into NCAA football 14 back in 2013 when that game released. I mean, and that's been 11 years ago.
Oh yeah.
It's
been a hot minute.
Shit. So I'm 32. So I was, oh God, I don't even know the math. 21. I was 21 when that game released. I
was probably, let's see, like 16.
Oh yeah, so yeah, you were a young lad. That's
basically when I was starting my sim journey, right there.
Yeah, that was when, I will never forget. I mean, man, being a kid was just so awesome. Like it was just.
Oh yeah,
I remember.
It's disappointing being adult.
You
think you're gonna have all the. You think, I'm gonna make it to being adult.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get that adult money, and I'm just gonna be the same person.
And then you're like, I got bills to pay. What the?
Bills to pay? Fuck this shit.
I paid all my bills and I got $20 left. This is bullshit.
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean I can't buy a car on iRacing right now because I got bills to pay?
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing. I don't know how much you've run with my cousin Cody Pennell. He ran a few HTL races this year.
I think I've run with Cody a little bit.
Yeah,
occasionally.
He's pretty cool. He's a lot like me. I mean, we're laid back. We we don't really get too upset unless it calls for it, and then look out because we're gonna fucking we're gonna roast somebody's ass. But I remember playing with him Dirt to Daytona. Fucking sprint car. There was a sprint car game on
Road del Toro.
Yeah, I mean we would play that.
Yeah.
We were probably 8, 9 years old. I mean, he's 3 years younger than me, so we would play that game. I mean, I'll never forget that sprint car game. You could go to Las Vegas and they had jumps. They had dirt mounds where the light poles were. And you could go in there and you could hit that damn dirt mound and you could launch that sprint car 100 feet in the air. And I mean, I wish I could go back to those days sometimes so bad and still be able to.
I'm actually kind of a big video game collector. So
yeah.
I did pick up both of those games and I have gone back and played. I do go back and play them occasionally.
Yeah.
Some games are incredibly frustrating because some games they didn't program to use the joysticks. They planned them for you to use the D-pad, and it's incredibly frustrating. Because you're sitting there trying to turn, and it's like, it doesn't want to.
Yeah, it's not going to turn. Yeah, I've got a couple emulators on my PC where I can run like Dirt to Daytona, World Outlaw, Saturday Night Speedway. That was a great game.
That's still one I gotta pick up.
Oh, that is such a good game. I will never forget. We would look at the cover just because the cover was a girl where she lifted her shirt up a little bit. She had a belly ring. I mean, we would look at the cover. We weren't even playing the fucking game. We were just looking at the cover of the. We were like,
mom comes in. You throw the case. What are you guys doing? Playing the game?
Playing Saturday Night Speedway. It was like the TV screen's not even on. Oh, the power just went out.
Getting set up. We were just getting set up.
Yeah, the power just went out. Sorry, we're loading it right now.
We threw the case when you came in because we were getting ready to turn the TV on.
Yeah, and they're like, y'all are weird. If only they knew.
All right.
If only they knew. All we were looking at was the damn cover of that chick.
Dad knew.
Oh yeah, he was like,
little did you know he was walking into the room to look at it when you were gone.
Yeah, he was like, let me get that cover, boys. Oh shit. No, I mean, I feel like we all kind of reminisce on like when we were kids, like it's.
Oh yeah, that's kind of part of the why I love collecting the vintage games, is because it's nice to kind of like transport yourself back to that time.
It is, and it's. Especially with, today, I mean...
The world's so fast.
It is. It's just...
Days are short. Like
they are. They're so short.
We all majoritively wake up between 6 and 8 o'clock and then blink and it's noon. Time for lunch.
Yeah, and then your work day's over, you go home, you cook dinner or you eat dinner and, you have the privilege.
You get like an hour or two to do something. It's either your kids related, you yourself related, and then that's it.
And then you go to bed and then you start over.
Or you can roll the dice and stay up, but you're still not gonna like yourself come morning because then you're still gonna sleep past and the day's gone.
Yeah, it's never fun when any night that I have a race and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna race. But this is not going to be good tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be pissed off.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point sometimes where I'll accidentally double myself up. Like, I have some buddies, the hat I'm wearing is Spare Parts Gaming Community. Group of guys I raced with for a few years during COVID and a little before on Xbox. They have just switched over to iRacing as well, and they kind of butt up to HTL or OST, whatever I have to run that night.
Yeah.
So it's a giant long night of either whatever they're running, and then either I'm running 100+ miles for a cup race, or having to lug a late model stock around something for 100 laps, and it's like Tuesday morning rolls around and I got to run the truck the next day, and I'm like,
Yep.
do I have to? Is there anybody on the team that wants to run tonight?
Yeah,
Because my body is screaming right now.
Can someone sub for me? I need some help.
No,
Yeah.
nobody can sub. All right, I'll supper.
That's why I take Mondays off, and then Tuesdays, obviously, I'm in the booth with Eli, which I've had a blast doing that this year. I mean,
Oh yeah, I've had a blast listening to y'all. Y'all can hate on my truck. Y'all can hate on my cursed truck all you want, but it's a hell of a renditioning. I will give B credit. She did do a very good job of paying attention to detail.
Yeah. Well, probably the most favorite race I had was when I was actually able to run the truck race. I think I ended up finishing 7th or 8th or something. I don't remember. But I was in the booth with Eli and Blake, and they are just what they're talking about. They were talking about the Civil War at some point, and I'm sitting there racing. I'm like,
oh boy,
what are y'all talking about the Civil War? Like, we're racing at. I don't even remember where we were at. I think Iowa or maybe I don't remember.
That's why the Civil War was going on at that track during the Civil War.
Yeah, there was a battle at that racetrack back in fucking whenever the fucking Civil War was. But I was sitting there just racing, and they're talking. I'm laughing. I'm laughing my ass off. And under caution, Blake would bring me in, and he'd be like, "Well, how's the truck running for you?" And I'm like, well, it ain't running great, but we're still out here. We're doing the best we can.
I'm still doing better than a Civil War vet.
yeah, I'm doing better.
Gotta find a way to tie your response into the conversation.
Yeah, doing better than General Lee out here or whoever it was. But yeah, I mean that was a lot of fun. And then obviously they're going to I think Michigan this Tuesday, so that'll be fun.
Yeah,
that's a. You could run 5 wide at Michigan. That's a good track.
I don't know. With the bunch we have, please don't, guys. Please don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, we'll talk a little bit about that. Were you in that Pocono race on Monday night?
I was not in that Pocono race on Monday night.
Thank God, because I
watched.
I heard they ran an additional 82.5 miles.
They did.
In overtime. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Look, I've had some bad races in ARCS.
Yeah,
but that one.
That's a lot of miles. That's a lot of extra miles.
That's. And look, we're talking.
If I'm a damaged lap down car, 2 laps down, at what point do you go? You know what? Making up these spots on these wrecks ain't worth it.
Yeah,
I'm getting off, boys. I'm out of here. What? I'll take what I got.
I'm 15th. Night over. We'll see y'all next Monday.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
Yeah, I mean that 82.5 miles and look, that's at Pocono. So that's about 30. I think it was 32, 33 laps that they ran in overtime. That is for most leagues at Pocono. That's an entire race. That is a full race.
It's a rough look to watch. It's a rough thing to watch. It's kind of like looking at the Iowa race we had the first time around a couple seasons ago, and how they got completely off task and started talking about the freeway. I can understand it. I can understand it at that point because it's like, at what point has the race gone on long enough that it's just cue the circus music in the background and talk about whatever the hell you please while the race wraps up?
Yeah, that's why most of our series we have 3 green, white checkers. We don't do unlimited because there's got to be a point where you call it a night. And I get that NASCAR does unlimited, and yes, NASCAR set
because NASCAR has all night, basically.
They do, and they have professional race car drivers. And yes, at Nashville, they ran 5, and that was a record. But It's still
even
only
the
5.
drivers got out. Even the drivers got out and were like, "Yeah, that was a little much. That was a little stupid."
Yeah, we might want to change this rule.
Yeah,
Like,
we might want to change some rules here, adjust how
Yeah.
guys are supposed to be handling things because this is asinine.
And I'm not saying I know that HTL is in the talks of changing that for next season. I'm not bashing HTL at all. I love Blake.
I love Blake and all them. They got a good show going on. There's definitely some holes in the ship that need patching. But I think they've got a good product going on over there. I love it. I do.
Yeah, it's a great series. It's and I'm involved obviously because I do run every once in a while on Mondays. I didn't commit full time, but I do have a part-time entry that I come in sometimes and race. And obviously Tuesdays, I broadcast with Eli and on ABN, and that's really my first kind of gig as a broadcaster. I've done a lot of stuff with ARCS Racing Networks, internally, but that was kind of my first like real job as a broadcaster. And the first race I did, I was so nervous, and I was like, and I saw their production. I saw, they had, Strix was in there producing, telling me and Eli what was going on, and I'm like, this is serious. Like, this is real
You're
shit.
like, oh my god.
Yeah. Like, I was like, holy shit. Like, this is.
Yeah, Carmen's broadcast crew over there is awesome.
Yeah.
They put on an amazing show to watch.
And I was like, because I am at the end of this year, I am going to step back from racing a little bit, but I do want to still be a part of all these communities. I still want to be involved. I love broadcasting. It's one of my probably favorite things to do. I feel like I'm good at it because I know how those cars or trucks or whatever handle out there. I know because I've run a lot of races. I've just did my 600 start in ARCS a couple weekends ago, so I have run these cars and trucks enough to know what y'all are dealing with as drivers. So when I'm in the booth, I can kind of give that, okay, here's what they're dealing with. Whereas not saying Eli can't, but Eli, hasn't run as
there's
many.
A lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of knowledge there.
Yeah, it's just.
And I've run with. Funny story. I've actually raced with Eli in the past.
Mm-hmm.
In the Heat 5 and Heat 4 league, or actually Heat 4, back in Heat 4 leagues. So when I joined HDL, it was really funny when I was watching, and then I went to message him about something, and I went, oh hey, I know them.
Yeah, like, hey, I know you.
Yeah, hey, I know you, huh? That's a surprise to run into somebody like that. Okay.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
That's kind of what I found is nice about sim racing is like it doesn't matter where you float. Occasionally you'll run into somebody you haven't run into in a while, and it's like, oh, this group has you around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That helps things a little bit.
Yeah,
more people I know.
There's a couple people that have joined ARCS that back when we were still on Heat 5, we were obviously a lot smaller at the time. One of the perfect examples is Steven Oberstadt. He's pretty much runs OST on Monday nights with Jack Mulkey. On Xbox, his gamer tag was Horatio Kane. And I ran with him in a couple league races that we had, a couple tournaments that some people put together that was a nightmare. But, it was like at the time, I had no idea that was him. And I was racing him at that time, and now he's kind of heading up one of my series. And I'm like, how small is the world? Like, I raced with you on Heat 5, didn't really know who you were at the time. But now backtracking, it's like, now you're in ARCS, you're running a very successful series on Monday nights, and it's like, That's so awesome to me. Like, you.
Yeah, it's cool to see things come full circle, and that, I guess that's why I guess that's kind of why I praise the Carmen's broadcast group so much, is
Yeah.
because, like I said, I've known her for about 10 years now, and it's been fun kind of watching her build it and see how great it has become at what they do.
Yeah, what they do is honestly just crazy. I mean, the followers they have, the views that they get, I mean, it's really.
The series that she's broadcasting for on that are like massive.
Yeah. I mean, Winstell, I mean, that's
You
got.
got PEC as well.
Yeah, I mean, and I was actually a part of their 24-hour race. I was in the broadcast crew for that, and I had no idea what I was doing. I think at one point, me and Eli were together, and we were talking about the KFC outside of turn 4 for like 15 minutes because that's all I knew to talk about was the KFC outside of turn 4 because I had no idea. I'm just like, yeah, they're racing. It's dark. You can't see anything. It's foggy, so let's talk about the KFC,
Yeah. Let's talk about the one thing I know where this thing is, and it's kind of a fun fact.
Yeah, exactly. And then I remember later that night, I was with Eli for several hours because it was a 24-hour event.
Yeah.
And
These 24-hour races are brutal.
Carmen told me after, she was like, we're never going to do a 24-hour event again. Like, but at like 11:30 at night, it was just Carmen in the booth. And so when me and Eli were done, I had a league race after that. I ran the league race. I was done with the league race. I was like, you know what? I still got 3 or 4 more beers. I'm gonna mess. I'm gonna
turn
see
on the
it.
broadcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see if Carmen needs some help in the booth. And she was like, "Yes, please come in here." So I jumped in there with Carmen, and I mean, it was like 12. It was like from 12 to 2 a.m. Me and her were just talking about. I mean, we weren't even talking about the race. It literally turned into almost like a podcast because we were just talking about stuff in our personal life. Talking about whatever. That was so much fun. I had a blast doing that. And I know she said that they're not going to do another 24-hour event, but if they do, sign me up. I'm all
Oh,
in.
yeah. Sign me up for that 4 a.m. shift, Carmen.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about 4 a.m., but, maybe 11 to, maybe 1 a.m. I might could do that one.
Those awkward hours of like,
Yeah.
We're not quite unhinged yet.
Yeah.
It's not past 2 a.m. yet.
Yeah, I'm still drinking, so I hadn't passed out yet. But at 2 a.m., I'm out. Get somebody else in here because I gotta go.
You better get somebody else in here. This show's gonna get real different.
Yeah,
real fast.
You might get canceled here in about 30 minutes. I'm just gonna put that out there now. All right, so.
Oh, I mean, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, I gotta pee, so I'm gonna ask you a question, unless you have to pee, and then we'll take a break.
Nope. Go ahead.
All right,
go ahead and ask
you're good. All right. So I want to talk about HTL. I want to talk about your team. I will throw it to you. Talk about your team in HTL, and is there maybe any interest in starting a team for A Squared next year? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I'll give you the floor on that, and while I go use the restroom.
Honestly, for me, I'm slowly pulling out of HTL. We're probably still gonna remain as like a medium thing over there. I haven't really figured it all out yet. We've had a really big struggle this year. I feel like we have a really strong lineup, just not a lot of luck over there in HTL. I honestly think that I really don't know. I don't know what to think about my team right now in terms of HTL. I'm just frustrated with how the season's gone. I feel like we're really fast. I just feel like we've had a really lot of bad luck and bad decision making in certain situations. But in terms of the interest on coming over to A squared, that is an absolute yes. I have been trying to do that. I didn't try very hard because am, I keep myself very busy and I lose track of deadlines and I lose track of like getting hold of people on things. So I was trying to get into the draft for this season, but I just kind of like missed timing. So, but yeah, I've been trying. I'm hoping to try to get them over here either within next season or the season after.
Well, we will definitely have the ability for maybe some new owners for next year for 2025. So definitely make sure you pay attention to the ARCS Discord.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have, I think, after the end of our season, which I think's in September, we have obviously.
Yeah, because I actually looked at the full schedule recently because
Yeah.
I'm taking over the ride for I believe it was Smeal in the 13 for the rest of the year. So.
Oh shit! I forgot that was you.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I totally forgot that was you. So you're on Steven's team for the rest of the year.
Yeah. For the rest of the year, I'm on Steven's team.
Bro.
I've looked at the last few tracks. I'm pretty pumped. I got all of them already.
I can't believe that I forgot that was you. I feel so bad. Like,
no,
he told me.
I'm such a rando. So
he told me that you were coming in, and I'm like, okay, James Wright. Yeah, okay, cool. And then you just said that, and I'm like, oh my god, it's him. he's racing the rest of the year. Like, well, that's awesome, dude. I'm excited to have you on track.
I'll be honest. For my team is probably more known for Gaiman and Bianca than it is for me. So
hey, Joshua Gaiman is very, very talented. Obviously won the race tonight, so he knows what he's doing. Bianca, I've raced with her, and she's very talented too. I mean, that's what's so crazy, man. I mean, I this year I drafted Bryn Roberts, but one that I kind of picked up in the second round was Lilac Zier. And
Lilac's on my team over here. She's quick.
Yeah, she's
smart with those strategies.
Oh, she's done so good for me and my team this year. Like
that is honestly the one thing I'm in my recap of my team's HGL season there. That was the one thing I've missed is Lilac has been a huge key in helping us in these fuel mileage situations.
Yep.
Because my team is majoritively made up of people that are younger-ish.
Yeah.
Who kind of need Lilac's a little bit more maturity to kind of be like, no. I know what you're thinking on your strategy, and it's not a completely terrible idea, but we should really just stay with everybody else for right now.
Yeah.
There's no reason for us to be going off strategy right now.
Yeah, a lot of the young people, I mean, they're balls to the wall, but sometimes that doesn't always win you the race.
That's part of the problem with the unlimited green white checkers is everybody is just too hungry for the win.
Yep.
I understand everybody wants to win, but you're not going to win it from 15th on a green white checkered. I'm sorry.
You're not. Yeah.
I don't care what kind of run you're having. Like, I don't care what kind of car you have. Like,
14 people are not going to wreck in front of you.
Yeah.
It's not Daytona. It's not going to happen.
We can kind of have that discussion if it's like Daytona and you're running 15th on a green white checkered, because then it's like, well, if you make the right move,
maybe.
if the window's open and you make the right moves, then I guess maybe you can go balls to the wall and win this still. But
so you're gonna
go crazy.
So you're gonna be in the 13, or are you changing numbers, or are you still?
Nope. I'll ride out with 13.
13. So you're gonna be in the 13 Sunday at Daytona. I
haven't decided what paint scheme yet. Smeal sent me the ones he's run throughout the season. He wasn't going to get a chance to finish mine before Daytona on Sunday, so I'm going to run one of his. Not really sure which one yet. I haven't really looked. But
yeah, I think he's in Pocono for the weekend. So
yeah, he's going to Pocono. So
Yep.
I told him, just give me whatever you got and I'll run it. I'm happy with whatever.
Well, that'll be. I mean, Daytona's going to be fun. I mean, you got. You got a lot of people, including me, myself. I'm outside of the playoff bubble, so.
I've already gotten kind of the playoff picture from Steven, and I'm like, I mean, if we get to the end and I have a shot at the win, and I have no teammates that need the win, I'm gonna go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
But like, knowing the playoff situation, I'll help if I can.
Yeah, I need all the help I can get because like I said, I'm mid-pack at best, but I've had fun this season.
That's my qualifying pace just about anywhere.
Yeah. Now I can qualify pretty decent at super speedways, but in A squared, man, it's tough. It's
now if we could go qualify at a short track and then go race at the super speedway, then I might start up front.
Yeah, see, I'm opposite. If I could qualify at a super speedway and then race at a short track, I might be up front, but I just don't have that speed. But I mean, I also don't have time to practice like some of these.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I'll be honest, being Bianca's team owner is fun because it's honestly hilariously fun to watch just how like dedicated she is to what she's doing.
Yeah. I mean,
like
she'll
send me messages at 3 a.m. for an HTL race of a screenshot that she's had a 300 lap or like 150 lap practice run at by herself, and it's like, for what?
Yeah, like why?
For qualifying pace? Like,
yeah, like what are you doing?
She's just like, oh, just data collection. Like, just I'm getting laps and logging laps. I'm like, okay, cool, all right.
That's why you win, and I finished.
Yeah, that's why
25th.
Yeah, like it's fun to watch her just like go and go and go when, especially depending on like if it's a race that she has like a huge itch to like win.
Yeah,
she'll
put that effort
she'll go
in.
balls to the wall.
Yeah.
She'll put all that effort in, and it's amazing to just watch. So it's really fun to watch it pay off as much as it does for her.
Yeah, that couldn't be me. I can't do it. I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna show up.
Running.
Yeah, I'm gonna show up to the race. If I finish 20th, I finish 20th. That's
Yep. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'd like some more wins, but like,
it's this Sunday at Daytona, I'm probably gonna pull some. I might pull some John Hagen blocks that he pulled on me tonight.
Those were ballsy there. I watched y'all go 4 wide coming into 3 before we all wrecked.
Yeah, the first one, John Hagen came up and blocked me, and I was not happy. And he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had that big of a run. It's like, bro, I'm on the outside. Of course I'm going to get a big run coming off the corner.
That was that's kind of the interesting thing about between cars, because like with the next gen, that bottom is huge if you have the numbers.
Yeah.
But with these Xfinity cars, it's the top all the way.
Yeah.
As long as you have the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have somebody pushing you, the top is key. And then another restart we had, Selena did the same thing that John did to me, pulled up in front of me, so I pulled down, and then when I pulled down, I think we were 4 wide. I think Patrick was coming up as I was coming down, and we were 4 wide, and I think I ended up wrecking Patrick, and I feel terrible about it, but I mean, it was like, well, I'm either going to run through Selena and wreck her, or I'm going to go low and maybe not wreck, and then the whole field behind me, I see in my rearview mirror people just wrecking, and I'm like, damn it, that was my fault.
Yeah, no, I forget what lap it was on. I was trying to find the replay of it so I could watch it, but everybody went like 3 wide, 3-4 wide coming into 3, and then wrecked off of 4. And all night, my luck had been the wreck happening. I slow up, and someone just nicks me,
Yeah.
just barely nicks me for like a minute and a half at optional, or like
Yeah.
12 seconds of optional, and they are wrecking off 4, and they're coming up. And I'm like, well, I guess I just pull a Days of Thunder here and commit and hope this works. And finally, for like the first time in the whole entire race, I had some luck and actually managed to like Days of Thunder it and just barely shoot the gap. Because I watched them in my mirror just as after I cleared the whole group, clobber the outside wall, and I'm like, "Ooh, that was close."
I got lucky there. Well, that's awesome that you're gonna be running on Sundays. Obviously, I haven't raced with you a whole lot, a little bit in HDL.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping to turn around here, is being able to go race more myself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun to just be able to race for a team and not be in that position where you have to make these decisions. And that's why, like, when I drafted my team this year, I had me, Bryn Roberts, Lilac, and Elric George. I knew that those people, for the most part, I mean, everybody has their moments, but for the most part, they're going to race clean. They're going to be smart. I don't have to really deal with a whole bunch of bullshit after the race, But when you draft some of these people, yeah, they're fast, but they may wreck somebody or they may do something stupid, and then you got to deal with it the next day. And it's like, you know what? Do I really want to deal with this shit? Like, is it really worth it? Like,
that's the issue. It's like, do I really want to deal with this anymore? Like, this is getting old.
You get to a certain point where it's like, you know what? Y'all are really causing me a lot of headaches. Like, which Boss was a good, I call him Boss. That was his Xbox name, but Elric George, last week, and we talked to him after the race, but we had a wreck, and Boss actually got turned into the wall, kept going, and never slowed down. Ended up hitting me on last Sunday, just drove through me, and I'm like, I even said it because we were in our team chats on Sunday, and I'm like, Boss, what are you doing? Like, you're a straightaway away from the wreck. Like, slow down. Like, the caution's out. You're not gaining any more spots.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
It's and then like 2 cautions later, somebody wrecks, and I was in position to get the lucky dog out because I had fallen to 1 lap down because I had to tow after that big wreck. And so I'm like, okay, I got the lucky dog. Here comes Boss. Yeah, hits me in the rear end. Lost my lucky dog. I lost it. I told Boss, I was like,
oh yeah,
what are you doing, dude? The caution's out. Why are you still racing? You just drove through my rear end, lost my lucky dog. And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I was trying to check up." And I'm like, "Well, try better. Like, try better. I don't know, dude. Like,
oh man, try better. Like,
yeah,
that's like a try better. I definitely I kind of have a try better moment myself. And it was from Carmen's ABN Gen 4 series.
Yeah.
We were at Talladega, and I forget who it was. It was either Caitlin Height or Olivia Hayward. We were slowing up for a caution, and I was trying to save fuel, and I was sitting there clutching in, and I'm doing like 130, just kind of clutching down the backstretch. Just da-da-da-da, and I'm getting a drink, and I look back up for my drink, and I realize, oh, hey, there's the field. I need to start braking. And I'm braking, and I'm making it past people, and I'm slowing down at the same time. But meanwhile, I stupidly never took my foot off the clutch. So it's kind of like a what breaks.
Yeah. Yeah. Brakes don't
I
work.
co- I completely cleared through like 6 rows of cars, doubled up, and cleared out whichever one of them was the leader. Destroyed their race. I was like, I am so sorry. I was trying to check up. I really was trying to check up. I didn't
Yeah,
want to end your race like that.
we've all had those moments. I mean, let's be honest. I
Those things
have
happen.
I've hit Seth Wansing under caution. I know once I clobbered his ass because I was not paying attention, and I hit the clutch. I was hitting the brakes, and then there was the field. And by the time my brain told me, "Hey, let off the clutch and hit the brakes really hard," it was too late, and I had ass-ended Seth Wansing, and I was like, oops. Sorry. I just ran through you. My bad. Like, it's
Yeah,
just,
my bad. I really didn't mean to run through you like that.
yeah, I didn't, but I did, so
But
sorry.
that's like my biggest problem with my driving, my racing is I'm I'm not quite aggressive enough on short tracks.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn how to be a little bit more aggressive. And so I have this real problem in the late model stocks of like overshooting when I'm trying to give someone just a little nudge. So I've countless times over the last few months of trying to figure it out, just sent it into somebody
Yep.
and absolutely just lifted them up, sent them around. And it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Like, sorry.
Sorry, how do you explain? I meant to hit you, but not that hard.
Yeah, I just meant to give you a little tap, not through your,
Not
front
drive
end.
through you.
Yeah, not through your front end. So who is? I gotta ask you, who's cupcakey?
Oh, that is my girlfriend.
Okay, so it says she said that she wants to upgrade, or you want to upgrade, so he can give me his stuff. So is she trying to get into racing?
Oh yeah. No, so she's got art in her DNA. So we're trying. I bought her a very short. Well, I had her buy a very short subscription just to get us to Black Friday, so then we can up mine and re-up hers around Black Friday for that primo Black Friday price.
Yeah.
And so I'm planning to eventually upgrade my wheel and give her the 923.
Hell yeah. Well,
So
we do have, so we did one race already, but we plan on doing another one probably later in this year. We do a wives and girlfriends race where,
she'll absolutely love that.
yeah, where anybody that's in the server that has a wife or a girlfriend that wants to participate can use, their husband's or their boyfriend's rig and race. We did one. It's probably been about a year and a half ago. Kinsey actually won that race, so I was very proud of her. But so she's 1 for 1 in the wives and girlfriends race, but we're planning on doing another one probably later this year. So definitely we'll have to get you and your girlfriend involved in that. It's last year we had I think we had 10 girlfriends and wives that were in the race, but honestly only about 2 or 3 of them were competitive.
Yeah, the rest were kind of
yeah.
So we're supposed to we're supposed to go fast and turn left then?
Yeah, do I turn left now or do I turn left later? Yeah, it was pretty much that, but we ran.
Wait. What do you mean I need brakes? What?
Yeah,
I thought I was just going in a circle.
We ran the trucks at Michigan for our first race, first girlfriends and wives race. Yeah, it was.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. It wasn't terrible. We had a couple people, especially under caution, didn't really understand that they had to slow down. So they, we had people like,
it's like watching the kids in the mini wedges. Just
it really is. I mean, but it was fun. It really was fun. I had a blast. My heart rate was through the roof because like Kenzie's driving. They all had their headphones on, but I had Discord on my phone, so I could kind of hear everybody. And I was coaching her like as she was driving, and I'm like, hey, because there was a point where it was like we were close on fuel, so I was like, hey, back up your corners, save fuel, back up your corners, don't get in the gas too soon.
You want me to do fucking what now?
Yeah. Well, I thought this was wide open. What is this? Is this slot cars? What is this? But we had a couple cautions come out. I'm like, okay, come pit, get 4 tires. Fill it up with fuel. You'll be good to the end. And, I mean, it was so much fun. And I feel like everybody that participated as far as, like, the men also just had a blast because it was like...
Well, it's kind of like they used to do it at, like, local racetracks at the end of the year. They do a mechanics race and they do a wives and girlfriends race. It's fun to watch. Not a lot of them do it, but it's fun to watch them go try.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, honestly, it wasn't a bad race. I mean, I've had worse league races in ARCS before.
It's one of those things where it's like, I've seen worse from people that are actually trying.
Yeah, that think they know what they're doing. They think they're, professional iRacers. And our wives and girlfriends race was better than some of our league races. Like, it wasn't bad. Like, so
it's almost like that should be the trial. The questionable drivers, we just throw them in the wives and girlfriends race, and
if y'all can beat them, then yeah, you can race in ARCS.
If you can run clean, can run clean in the wives and girlfriends race, then congratulations, you're safe. Yeah, for now.
We even had I'll never forget. We had like a check-in, so like the boyfriends or husbands would be on their phones and they would turn their camera on and they would like, turn their camera to their girl, in the rig. So they, so we didn't, cause we don't, I mean, obviously if you
just want to be sure.
Yeah. I mean,
you shouldn't. It's a fun thing. Don't cheat.
Exactly. If you're cheating in a wives and girlfriends race, like get fucked. But
like you really need to win that bad, dude.
Yeah, like you really...
I don't think any of us need to win that bad.
Yeah. Look, I love winning, but for fuck's sake, if I get on there running against them, I'm probably gonna have the lead. I'm just saying. Like I've run 600 races in ARCS, probably 800 overall. I'm not good, but I got experience. So yeah, we'd get on Discord on our phones and we'd turn our camera on and, okay, here's my girl. She's in the rig. She's got the headphones on and, then we'd turn our phone to the screen and yeah, here she is racing.
15th, 30 laps down.
Yeah, 15th. She's 87 laps down, but by God, here she is. But
oh yeah, by the way, we're running COT cars. Wait, we are? Where's her wing?
Yeah,
where'd it go?
What's the COT car? Oh, well, that means car of today. So get it together. But yeah, we're definitely going to do another one of those later in this year. So it looks like your girlfriend's excited. It says she's not very good at driving in a straight line, though. That was her comment. So
I love her, and I love that she's trying to get into my hobbies and learn. But my favorite thing to watch right now is I'll set her up in the next gen at Daytona because it's a pretty easy place to just kind of sit and learn the wheel and what you're doing.
Just cruise.
Yeah. So I'll set her up in an AI race and have her start at the back and just kind of work her way through, and she'll do a bit of like a "excuse me, pardon me" when they get just stuck.
Get the hell out of my way.
And so it's fun to watch her just kind of like occasionally it'll do the thing where they'll get just stuck together.
Yeah.
And then it'll just springboard you into like 6 other people.
Well, the difference is, I'll tell you right now, when you're racing real people, if you do that to them, they're gonna fucking turn left and they're gonna put you in the infield. Yeah, because real people don't like when you run them over. So that's what a lot of our significant others don't understand. This isn't fake. This is real. So we
do have to. It is fake cars, but we do have people with real emotions.
Yeah, it is, and especially when a lot of women are out there on track. And this is where I get canceled. But a bunch of women on track, the emotions are running high. I mean,
it gets complicated. Like I said, I've been racing for 12 years in real life, and I've run across my fair share of women that I've raced with that it's like, you're pissing me off. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with you because I want to go beat your fucking face in right now,
but I can't.
I can't. So I'm just gonna stand here. I'm just gonna stand here and look like an asshole in my pit, bitching and moaning about it.
Yeah, look,
and making it sound like I'm upset that I got beat by a girl, and it's like, no, she just ran me like shit for 5th place. Like, I'm allowed to be pissed.
I have rode home with my girlfriend from work to the house when she's driving, and somebody will cut her off and she's like, fuck you, and I'm like, he just was trying to merge, like, why are you so pissed? And she's like, he cut me off, and I'm like, this iRacing thing's really not gonna work for you. Like, it's not gonna work.
I have to put myself in check sometimes because I have to remember some people are smarter than what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they did cut you off, but like, they probably calculated it out in their head that they're like, I have enough room here.
Yeah, I got room. I
got room.
I'm merging on the interstate. Fuck it. But
like,
yeah, it's that was. I mean,
I honestly, yeah, I had my first bit of like actual road rage this on Wednesday because we went from here to Beaver Dam, Wisconsin to meet up with my spare parts friends to watch the World of Outlaws in Beaver Dam.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, they were over there in Wisconsin for the whole week. I could only afford to get over there for that. So we were driving through Chicago, and this guy in a Beamer comes flying up behind me, and he does like the multi-class thing of foot.
Yep.
And I'm already speeding through Chicago, and I'm like, okay, I'll get over for you. And I start to move over for the dude, and he...
Yeah, went...
I'm just like...
I'm trying to move!
Like, hold on. This is not... This isn't the Daytona... The 24 hours of Daytona, dude. You're not just gonna run up on me and double flash me like I'm holding you up in traffic, fighting for the overall victory.
Yeah, like, I'm not a GT3 car. You're not in an LMP2. Like, I know you have a Beamer, but... For fuck's sake, it's, it ain't that much faster.
Yeah. Well, it pissed me off because he had like three lanes wide open to his right. There was no reason for him to run up on me in the first place.
Yeah.
So it was like, what? My girlfriend's sitting in the passenger seat, and I just speed up on this dude the minute he starts passing me. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, she's like, you gotta let it go. Like,
yeah.
She can't. I'm like, I know. Like, I'm so mad right now. Like, that genuinely pissed me off.
She said in the chat that that road rage was terrible, that she almost had to use your government name at that point. So
yeah, she did. She almost used my government name there. Like,
oh man,
that dude, like, he legitimately, like, it was almost like it was 3 a.m. and he's running for the overall lead, and I'm just some GT3. Because he came running up on me at like 90, goes, and I'm like, okay, I'll get out of your way.
I feel like everybody that, I know me included, and I hope you're like this, but when we get off on an exit, and the exit kind of has a little curve to it, but it's got that white line, Bro,
You gotta ride it. You gotta take that faster line.
bro, you got to be on that
You gotta
white
get the
line,
exit.
maybe even on the apron to get a little extra grip.
Yeah, just to get that better exit.
I feel like that's an unknown thing that every man in America that has ever done any racing, they get on that exit and they're like, speed limit 30 on this corner? Nah, we're running 50. We're going to hug this white line. We might even get a little under it to get a little extra grip, you know? I mean,
what are you talking about? I'm flooring it until I feel that back tire just
start drifting a little bit. Okay, we'll lift a little. We got it. We got it.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. This is fine. Yeah, that is.
It's all fun and games until you're driving a front wheel drive and feel that rear end like ghost lift.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
you and it's like,
yeah,
easy girl. Hold on now.
You can't save that one. The front wheel drives. Yeah, you can't save that one. But yeah, it's. I mean, I feel like every dude, even if you don't like racing, if you don't get off.
Oh yeah, if you don't try to save time a little bit.
Yeah, like, if you don't get off on the exit and you're hugging that white line, just I mean, you're throwing your lunchbox, you know, in the back seat because you're just turning that thing. I mean, you might be a little. I can't say the word because I might get canceled, but you might be a little homosexual. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that you gotta just hug that white line at about 15 over the speed limit.
Oh, yeah, just a little over 15 over that recommended of like.
Yeah, I mean
25.
25. What are we on, a fucking mule? What is this? Like,
I don't see no school bus.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, we're running.
This was the freeway.
Yeah, we're running 70 on this exit. Fuck you. That's with like, your 25.
We took the like 10-hour route home yesterday to go through the UP because I said to hell with it. The toll for, I don't know if anybody watching has been to Chicago lately on toll roads, but it's $7 just to drive through Chicago at like 45 mile an hour.
Yeah.
On their toll freeway. Like,
that's wild.
I was so mad. I paid $7 to get in that, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of expensive for a toll. I wonder if they're taking notes from Texas, and this is going to be like the Autobahn thing. And I get rolling, and it's like 45 mile an hour. I'm like, I paid $7 to go 45 for like
what?
8 miles? What
the fuck? Florida's the same way. Florida's like, they have toll roads, like, because we went on vacation back in March, and I'm like, goddamn, every exit I take, it's a fucking toll road, and you got to pay $1.50, $1.50, $1.50. It's like, hell, I'm gonna pay $15 in fucking tolls just to go to damn Disney World. It's like, this is stupid. Like,
well, then you gotta pay the toll to go across the Disney Bridge. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I gotta pay these damn tolls everywhere I turn around. Like, this is bullshit.
Gotta love being a tourist trap.
Yep. All right, so last question here. What kind of equipment do you use? What kind of wheels? What kind of pedals? What you got?
Right now, I'm rocking the G923 with just like the stock pedals that came with it. Champ Car was starting up. I had bought the sim. I had been using. Funny enough, give me just like 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure it's in this closet right behind me. Because this is kind of like one of those effect things.
Hell yeah.
For the first like 3 months of my iRacing career, I was using that, and it is from the era of when they were when they made that wheel to be able to have a little toggle switch for PS3 and PS4.
Yeah.
That thing is just the rubber band style wheel.
Yep.
I don't know if you've ever driven iRacing without force feedback.
I have.
It's not great.
It's
not great.
Yeah.
You're just trying your best at that point.
Yeah. I had a lot. Well, so I started not iRacing, but I started Heat 4, Heat 5. I had a Ferrari wheel from Walmart. It was like $50. It was literally rubber band. Like, you turn it, you let go of it, it would just be like, you know.
That's exactly what that does.
Yeah. And when I went to iRacing, I was like, I gotta get something a little bit better. So I got the Logitech.
Yeah, that's what happened. I started using it for about a month and a half, and I went,
yeah, it's like,
ooh, I gotta get something better than this. This sucks.
Yeah, so I got the G923.
I know I can drive better than this.
Yeah, the G923 did okay for me, and then I was like, you know what, I need something better. Got the Fanatec Direct Drive DD2. I gave my Logitech, which you all can't see it, but literally, oh fuck, I'll show you. I can do this now. Let's see. There you go. So that is my girlfriend's setup. She has my old G923 with a sim seat, with the monitor and all that good shit. So she got my old wheel, and I got the Logitech or the Fanatec DD2. So she has my old wheel. She hasn't really used it, but
I actually don't even have that. I don't even have that stand. I have the like stand.
Oh, nice.
No. I'd rather have, I want to change it to the other one because I have as you saw, I have a wheelie chair, and it is a pain in the fucking ass to get it to like line up properly so I'm comfortable.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
Like that entire race tonight, I sat shifted just to the right of my wheel. So my legs were sitting just kind of like this. The entire race.
That's never fun. That's never fun.
It's one of those things where it's like I know if I move, I'm gonna completely move it the wrong direction, and it's gonna throw me off even more.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, buddy. This has been a blast. We'll definitely have to have you on again. I again, especially with people that I don't know, I get a little nervous because I'm like, 10 minutes in, I'm going to be like, oh, well, okay, that's all we got, and then the podcast is going to be like 15 minutes,
Oh, no, I'm not, I have nothing.
Yeah.
You're good. I'm a night owl type of guy, so.
Yeah, I mean, this has been great. I just get nervous, sometimes with people that I've never talked to,
Well, and I'll be honest, I don't have much of a story right now. I kind of wanted to get on the podcast just to kind of get my face out there. Like I said, my team we've only, I didn't get a chance to say this, we've only been around for 2 years, our team.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, and maybe being somebody that's a little more prominent in the sim world, like yourself, maybe you can correct me, but I feel like my team kind of came out of like nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, these guys are actually pretty damn fast and good. Yeah. And we had Josh for a while complimenting us that knew a lot of y'all, so it was like, okay, they got a good crew rolling around here.
Yep.
But it came to a lot of like, we've kind of reached a point where it's like, yeah, we've got the drivers, but like, who the hell's the guy running this show over here? So,
Yeah.
because I don't race a lot around here. I kind of keep myself busy IRL and try to run league races when I can. But when I saw the podcasts, I turned to my girlfriend like 2 months ago when I saw that you all were doing all the podcasts. I saw yours, and I saw I I want to say Meredith's the pizza and wings one on the back of his car, and I
Yep.
had turned to my girlfriend and I'm like, man, I got to get myself on one of these
Yeah.
just so I can kind of get my face out there a little bit, just so people know a little more of who I am.
Yep.
So it's like, so it's not so much like, yeah, this team's fast, but why do we care? The owner's some random face in the crowd right now, like
Yeah.
that
Well,
nobody really knows who they're talking to about things.
I will say
Like
a lot
I
of,
it
yeah, a
it
lot of
was funny
people
to
in,
me that it was funny to me earlier when you were like, "Oh, it's you driving that car,"
yeah.
because it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Nobody really knows who the heck I am.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people in ARCS listen to this podcast, so this will definitely help you on Sundays. You know, being a new driver coming in late in the season, you know, a lot of people listen and watch this thing, even if it's, after, the day after or 2 days after. This is on YouTube. Obviously, it's live on Twitch, live on YouTube, but, YouTube, this thing stays around forever, so people watch it. So it is cool to get, not only let people know who you are, kind of, and again, me personally, I've never seen you until tonight,
Yeah,
so it's cool to meet new people. That's why I love doing this podcast. I love the communities that we've built. We are strong partners with ABN and HTL, which is where you've run a lot of races in. And, I enjoy meeting new people, talking to new people. That's why I love this podcast. It gives me an opportunity to talk to people that, if it weren't for this podcast, I may have never talked to you ever unless, yeah,
yeah. I could have ran the next 7 races in ARCs, and then
yeah,
y'all could have been like, "Oh, this dude, nah, get him out of here!" Like,
yeah,
nah,
gone,
we don't.
gone.
He wasn't that great. He ran
Yeah,
like 30th all
yeah,
7 races. He showed up and ran for you. We
yeah,
don't need him in A squared again next year.
yeah. Get him out of here.
Get
But
him out of
yeah,
here.
this podcast, it lets people really kind of get to know the people behind the names that they see, and that's what's cool to me. Is like, a lot of the times you see people on track and you see their name and you know them because you race with them, but you don't really know who they are. And this
Well, and
podcast is, tries to kind
a
of
bit,
break that barrier.
yeah, a big note of that, of like proof that like it really does come down to like kind of me or others putting ourselves in the right places
Yep.
to be seen as owners. Is I don't know how many people know this about my team, but during the 2023 iRacing Pro Championship, Off-Road Pro Championship, um we actually had Brandon Proudfoot representing us that last season.
Yeah.
Which was a golden opportunity. Just we were such a young team that I had no clue unfortunately, what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like it was an amazing opportunity, and it was fun to watch him do it, but I didn't know who to turn to get like set resources for him to have that stuff. So he wasn't running into the races going, I've had no time for practice and I don't have a setup. So I guess we're just going to run dead last
Yeah.
because this is all I can do because I have no resources. I'm running all by myself.
Yeah.
So it was definitely fun to watch him do it, and it was really cool. It was honestly really cool of Josh to get him over here and then for us to be able to do that with Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish I could have provided him more help.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Proudfoot's been really. He kind of did our dirt series this year, and that was a blast. Him and Gaiman kind of helped each other, with setups and stuff. So, I mean, they've been a huge help to the ARCS community, to really every community, just because.
Honestly, having both of them over here, I had them for driver development a little bit for a while, and
Yeah,
both of those two together are just electric to watch work together for just about anything.
yeah,
And honestly, I attribute those two's like chemistry and connection to a lot of my team's success in our second year of HTL last year,
yep.
because it was absolutely a blast watching those two just race it out against each other every week. Like,
Yeah,
there was nothing for me to talk about to anybody because it was just like, I don't know what to say. These two are just going at it, and it's
Yeah.
hilariously fun to watch.
It is. I mean, they're great drivers for sure. But all right, buddy, we'll wrap this thing up. I'll let you exit out here. But do you have any other questions for me or anything you want to kind of close on?
I'm terrible with this type of thing.
Me too. That's why I don't know why I started a podcast, but here I am.
Yeah. I guess ultimately because I haven't really had this opportunity. From an outsider's perspective, watching my kind of like more so my team, not so much me.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on my team as a whole currently?
Oh, I mean, I think your team's doing great. I mean, obviously, I don't really, I'm focused obviously more in ARCS. So, HTL,
Right.
I don't really see a whole lot in HTL other than, what's going on Tuesdays because I have to broadcast. So I got to kind of pay attention to that. But no, I mean, Joshua Gaiman is a stud no matter where he races. I mean, I think y'all have a great team, and I would love to see y'all's team in A squared next year. I mean, I think that opportunity is definitely there. We're looking to, there's some owners that probably aren't coming back next year for 2025, so there's definitely some openings. Emma Kruger is a good example. Like, she had a team this year and then she kind of just didn't show up anymore. So there's some opportunities for some team ownership next year in A squared, and hopefully your team will be involved. And we have the draft, which is honestly probably one of my most favorite nights of the year is the draft. Like,
Honestly, that's part of what kind of draws me to A squared is it gets me as an owner slightly out of my comfort zone a little,
mm-hmm.
because I can't just put in my rides the people that
Yep.
I know are fast and I know I can talk to about things.
Yeah,
I can maybe do that, but I also have to kind of go out on a limb on some people and go, okay, I know you're fast and I've seen your attitude a little bit. I like you. Well, I'll take a risk.
yeah, and that's what's so cool is like when we do decide the team owners, obviously those team owners, we have a literal NFL draft type, process where if so-and-so is the fastest person available and they are, let's say they're committed to so-and-so's team, but this other owner has the first pick, they can steal that driver. And there's nothing we can do about it other than just try and convince them not to draft that driver. And
right.
yeah,
Like they're kind of committed to them. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, I know they're the fastest, but
I mean,
you don't have to do that.
that's like my second pick in last year in 2024's draft. I mean, I got Lilac, and a lot of people didn't think that I would pick Lilac, but I kind of stole Lilac from, Tom Sears had, I think, kind of put some interest in drafting Lilac, and, I was like, well, she's the best available in my opinion and the least drama, and so I'm going to draft that driver. So that draft, like, I think we had like 200 and something viewers on our draft night, and it was just like, this is crazy. Like, we're not even racing, we're just picking drivers.
Yeah, you're just in a Discord call.
Yeah,
you're just in a Discord call picking teams. Like,
yeah, and we had 200 people watching.
Yeah, you have people in the YouTube channel watching like it's an actual NFL draft here.
Yeah, for real. And next year will be, I think, even bigger than this year, because obviously we have you, we have, if you have drivers that want to register, that can come in, and other team owners have friends or partners that will come in. And I mean, I think the draft next year is just going to be a blast, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great event. It's always been a great event, but I think, for 2025, I think it's going to be a blast, and maybe we'll have you as a team owner, and that, I mean,
Well, I mean, even if
fun.
you all don't have me as a team owner in it, I'm definitely going to be trying to enter my way into the draft. That's kind of been my whole plan here, is either get my team in, or at least get myself in to get that extra foot in the door.
Yep. And the next, I mean, we still have a bunch of races left even after the playoffs, and if you show up and you're there, you're competing, you're clean, and which you always are. I mean, I've never had a problem with you. Come next year, that's going to go a long way, whether you're an owner or just a draft eligible driver. Somebody is going to say, hey, this guy's clean.
Yeah,
he's consistent. I'm going to get him.
And that's my honest to God biggest sell to any owners out there listening right now, is I may not be one of the fastest drivers out here.
Yeah.
But I am at least consistent, and I at least do my best to try to at least bring the car home in the singularist piece I can.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all seen the driving standards around everywhere. So
yeah, I mean, you don't have to bring it in one piece, but at least in 3 pieces, you'll be fine.
It might be in 3 pieces, but we probably at least finished 12.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
So, we had a good day.
That's a good day. That's a good day. All right, buddy. Well, it was good talking to you. Hopefully, obviously, I will see you more on track on Sundays now that you're taking over the 13. But awesome podcast. Thank you for coming on. Again, I always get worried with new people. I think, after 10 minutes, I'll be like, okay, well, I don't have anything to talk about. That's it. But here we are almost 2 hours in, and hell, I could talk to you for another an hour. But
yeah, no, I was watching the time sorta, and I completely lost track of time. I looked at my clock and went, oh, it's only been like an hour and a half. And now you're telling me it's been 2 hours, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Go figure.
That's how these things go. But I'll let you see yourself out here of the Discord. I'll close this thing out. But again, thank you for being on the podcast. We'll definitely have to have you back for another episode. But thank you again for being a part of this.
Thank you for letting me join y'all. And I guess I'll see everybody Sunday then.
Yeah, see you Sunday at Daytona.
Later, everybody.
All right, see you, bud.
See you.
All right, that was James Wright for episode number 25, I believe, here. We're going to close this thing out. We're getting close to midnight. It was a great episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. A lot of fun. Love meeting new people like James Wright. Never seen him before tonight, honestly. Never really talked to him before tonight. And to go almost 2 hours. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna close this thing out here, and y'all stay tuned. I think Saturday, Feemster and Cody are gonna have a little fun run. I won't be there, but then Sunday we got Daytona for A Squared. That's gonna be a big one. James Wright obviously will be there in the 13 car. So that'll do it for me and Mr. James Wright. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being a part of ARCS Behind the Driver, episode 25. Hopefully next Friday we'll have Davey Hauk in the booth. We weren't able to have him last Friday because Kinsey was in the hospital, so wasn't able to really do a podcast. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being a part of this. Really do appreciate it. Until I see y'all next time, make sure you stay on that loud pedal.